everyone, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter Ranking Verse. Today's video is going to be a little book outlet haul that I did. So I was doing really well, I wasn't buying books, and then I bought a couple books from Amazon, a book depository, and then I went to Book Outlet a couple weeks later. So all good stuff. I bought just enough books to get me to $35, so I had free shipping. I had a $4 coupon, and that's the end of my excuses. Oh, and I had Ebates, 5% back on Ebates. So look at me, save money left and right. And I wound up getting like 7 books. So all good things. Let's just talk about them. Let's just get into it. So the reason I went to Book Outlet in the first place is because I had to have First Comes Love by Emily Giffin. I also have to get this annoying sticker off of it. I did not pay $16 for this book, for the record. But I talked about this book. I read it, or I listened to the audiobook for Contemporary-a-thon, and I loved it. And I wanted to / needed to have this in my life. So here it is. I think it was $7. And it was also the most expensive book that I bought. But this is the second to last book that she wrote. And I talked about this in my Emily Giffin Spotlight also, and in multiple other videos. She and I had a little bit of a falling out because we didn't agree on one of her books, and I took a bit of a break and went back and read her last book in December, and then I read this one. And this is everything I want and need from Emily Giffin. It is a story about 2 sisters, and they're like mid-late 30s right now, and the book opens 15 years earlier when their brother is killed in a car crash. And much of this is about sort of how his death has had sort of a lasting impact on the family, understandably, but it's also about where these sisters are in their life right now, kind of what their motivations are, what's important to them, what they're striving for, what they're struggling with, and then the relationship between the sisters, which, as I've said in other videos, feels extremely authentic to me. It is not like fairy tale rainbows, love fest. It is struggle, it is fighting, it is envy, it's resentment, it's misunderstanding one another, it's being frustrated with one another, and it's also about, loving one another. And, like I've said, you can love someone but not like them all the time. And I think there is a real authenticity to the relationship between these sisters, and I loved it. I cried. I am excited for whatever Emily Giffin comes up with next, but I'm happy to have this in my collection. The next book I got is Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier, and I saw her speak on a panel at Thriller Fest, and it was the same panel I saw Riley Sager on, and it was a whole bunch of like new to me authors, and I had this written down from last summer as a book that I wanted to check out, so super happy to find it on Book Outlet. And this is thriller, dark, kind of twisted. It has praise on the back of it by Carolyn Kempnis, Chevy Stevens, Lisa Unger, Riley Sager, amongst others. And it's a story about a girl. When she was 16 years old, Angela Wong, one of the most popular girls in school, disappeared without a trace. Nobody suspected that her best friend, Georgina Shaw, now an executive and rising star at a major Seattle company, was involved in any way. And what happens is kind of like 14 years later, they find the body of Angela, and one of the guys who they were friends with in high school is now a police detective, and it becomes revealed, sort of who done it, who's been keeping secrets all these years. Somebody goes to jail, but is it the right person, and what really happened that night, and what will you do to protect a secret, and what have people been doing to protect a secret? And it sounds like super twisty. How long can you get away with a lie, and how long can you live with it? So it sounds like a wonderful twisty book. When she was talking about it at Thriller Fest, I was super engaged and really intrigued. So I'm excited to dive into it and to finally read something that I've been hearing about, or at least been thinking about for quite a while. The next book I got was Stags by M.A. Bennett. And this is another book that I've wanted to get for like a year. And for whatever reason, I haven't. And when I saw it on Book Outlet, I snatched it up immediately. And I don't know if this is technically YA, but it's about a group of kids at St. Aidan the Great School, which is Stags. And there's scholarship student Greer, and then there's kind of like this exclusive group, the Medievals, which, again, I kind of get like these Skulls-ish kind of vibes, and I don't know if it's a little secret history kind of thing, or If We Were Villains, which I haven't read yet, which I need to read. But it's kind of like Greer is, again, a scholarship kid trying to get in with this exclusive group, and she winds up getting an invite to a weekend of hunting, shooting, and fishing. And apparently, you know, all hell, I think, is going to break loose when she goes to hang out with these guys out somewhere in the countryside in England. And as the weekend begins to take shape, it becomes apparent that beyond the luxurious trappings, predators are lurking and they're out for blood. So it seems like just kind of like a good fun ride. One deadly weekend. I don't know. I love the cover. I love the concept. So it's been on my list for a bit. I'm happy to have it now, finally. The next book I picked up was actually a recommendation from one of my subscribers, and it is Before the Fall by Noah Hawley. And I had not heard of this book, but I was like asking for good thrillers and mysteries, and this was what was recommended. And this is a book about 11 people, 10 privileged, 1 down on his luck painter, get on a plane to leave Martha's Vineyard to come back to New York. And, you know, like 10 minutes later, the plane goes down. And the only people who survive are the down on his luck painter and a 4-year-old boy who is now, inherits, he's the last remaining member of a powerful media mogul's family. And the question is, you know, was it intentional? Was there a reason why this plane went down? Was someone trying to take all these people down at once? What happens next? So it sounds like all sorts of intrigue. The police are getting involved, something more sinister at work. So excited, new suspense, new book to read, new book to dive into. And I was happy to see it pop up on there because I had it on my list and I figured like I would get it from the library at some stage, but was happy to get it for a couple bucks instead on Book Outlet. The next book is another psychological thriller that I've been very curious about, and it is Watching Edie by Camilla Way. And I had heard about Camilla Way, I don't know on whose channel, God, I'm terrible at this, but I kind of had her on my list as somebody to check out. And this book is about Edie, and Edie was beautiful, creative, and a little wild. She's the kind of girl who immediately caused a stir when she walked into your life. And kind of, Edie had big dreams back in the day, and now she is a waitress and she's raising a child and she's alone and she's struggling a bit, and, you know, somebody's sort of keeping tabs on her, and that's when her friend Heather shows up on her doorstep and walks back into her life. And, you know, the question is, you know, why is Heather coming back now just when Edie needs her? And, you know, Edie's about to learn a whole new lesson. Those who have hurt us deeply or whom we have hurt never let us go, not entirely. So, psychological thriller, suspense, fabulous long list of raving reviews on the back. How beautiful is this cover? I feel like this is just so amazing. I love it. Looking in the window, staring at her. So, here we go. Looks like voyeurism if you were watching one of my other videos about voyeurism. But I'm excited to have it. I think it's beautiful. I'm excited to finally read Camilla Way. So yeah, Watching Edie. The last book I got is Find You in the Dark by Nathan Ripley. And this is a debut novel, psychological thriller, serial killer-ish book. And I came across this during one of my deep dives about books. Somebody new, something recommended, a story that I found extremely intriguing, so excited to find it on Book Outlet. And this is a book about a guy named Martin Rees, and he is sort of trying to right the wrongs that cops have made over the years. And he illegally gets files on serial killers and searches for long-lost victims that the police haven't found yet. And when he finds them, he anonymously calls the police, lets them know so they can, you know, find the body and do what they need to do. And he very much feels like he's doing a public service. And he is on the hunt right now for the first victim of a serial killer who Martin believes is responsible for his sister-in-law's disappearance years ago. And when he finds the site, he's kind of horrified because he finds a fresh body there also. And he calls it in, he lets the police know what's up, and there is a detective, Sandra Whittall, and she's extremely suspicious of the caller, who she calls the finder. And she's not totally convinced that the guy calling these in isn't the killer himself. And obviously she's on the pursuit for him. Now there's a fresh body. And the twist, according, I'm sure there's a lot of twists, but the front flap is, Martin has found the body, the police have gotten the call about it, but Martin's not the one who called it in. So who did? What's going on? Who's the serial killer? What happened to his sister-in-law? What is happening, right? Right? So this sounds really good. Lots of wonderful things written on the back about it. But I'm excited. Debut author, debut book. Excited to read it. And hopefully it lives up to all the hype that I was reading about it and all the hype that I hope is right. So anyway, I got it. I'm excited. It's here. So that's my book outlet dive. Not too awful, right? Not too crazy. I find that these are the times when I snatch up things where I feel like it's safe to go a little bit random, but not so rogue in that I'm just reading the description online and buying it. So all of these were books that I had written down as books that I wanted to read. I'm justifying my spending habits right here. But anyway, they're here. I bought them. I'm excited about it. So let me know, you guys, if you have read any of these books or if you have gone down a book outlet rabbit hole yourself these days and purchased anything new. And I'll start to work these, into my reading list over the next few months. So I will keep you guys posted on what I think of them and when I'm reading them. Obviously they will pop back up here and I'll be back at some stage with something new. So thanks for hanging out today and watching my little haul, and I'll see you soon. Bye everybody.